All right, good afternoon or good morning, whatever time it is for you. Today we're going to talk about training by heart rate the quick and dirty way. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the vlog. Like I said, today we're going to do training by heart rate, how to run based on heart rate. And we're going to do this the quick and dirty way. We're not going to get too scientific about maximum heart rates or zones or anything like that. We're just doing, this is a video just to kind of get you started, get you out on the road and get you training with heart rate. And then later on we can go in more into depth and more scientific and that kind of thing about how to train with heart rate. But today, it's gonna be a real quick video on how to train with heart rate, how to get started. So the first thing you need to know is, in order to train by heart rate, is find out what your maximum heart rate is. So we're not gonna do any stress tests or anything complicated. You're just gonna take the number 220 minus your age. So for me, my age is 42. We'll just put it out there. That's how old I am. So 220 minus my age. So my maximum heart rate theoretically is 178. So that's the maximum heart rate theoretically that I can achieve during a full out run. So 178. So how you use that maximum heart rate? So in order to figure out where you want to run in your aerobic zone. So today we're going to talk about running just in the aerobic zone, which if you're a marathoner or any kind of long distance runner, almost all of your runs should be in this aerobic zone. They also call it zone 2. This is going to be 60 to 70% of your, nope, I'm sorry. This is going to be 70 to 80% of your maximum heart rate. So if we take 80% of my maximum heart rate, you get a number of around 142. So today we're going to do a workout and we're going to do a run at a heart rate of 142. So as you get warmed up, stretched, and then we're going to talk about how to actually get started running to get to that aerobic heart rate and how to maintain that aerobic heart rate. So let's get warmed up and stretched. Okay, so we're just getting warmed up here and stretching out a little bit just to get limbered up. The first thing you're going to need, you're actually going to need a piece of equipment to do your run, is a heart rate monitor. So there are several heart rate monitors out there. There's Garmin, which is what I use. There's Polar, Timex, Sunto, all kinds of heart rate monitors out there. And it really doesn't matter which one you use. They're all fairly consistent now and very good. They all have different features. So you're going to need a heart rate monitor. And the ones that are more accurate are the ones that have a chest strap. Today we're going to be using the heart rate monitor with my wrist monitor. So this actually gets the heart rate from my wrist. Some of them use armbands that go around your bicep of your arm. And like I said, chest straps are the most accurate to use. So you need a heart rate monitor to obviously track your heart rate during the run. So that's the first key thing to have, is heart rate monitor. Today on this run, we're not going to focus on distance. We're not going to focus on pace. We're not going to focus on really anything except our heart rate. So now that we're warmed up and everything, we're ready to get started. What we're going to do, instead of just going as hard as we can until we get this heart rate of 142, and I work with a range, so we're going to be between 140 and 145. And so we're gonna stick in that range today. And also there's a heat issue today, so we're gonna have to take care of that as well, take that into consideration. So that's why we're not worrying about speed. Today's gonna be a slower day than normal because it's so hot out. But so this is how I start the runs, is I start out at a moderate pace. So for me, I usually start out around 7:30 pace. I'm a runner that runs under 3 hours for a marathon and under 18 minutes for a 5K. So for me, a comfortable starting run is around 7:30 minutes per mile. And when I usually start out, a little bit slower than that and then gradually work my way up to a 7:30 pace. And then I hold that and I monitor my heart rate, and then I adjust my pace based on the heart rate, if that makes any sense. So the best way to explain this is actually do it. So let's get going, let's get running. Okay, so I'm running around 7:30 pace and my heart rate's at 135. So as I'm watching it climb, I'm gonna start adjusting my pace so that I don't exceed 145 or so beats per minute on my heart rate. And then I'm not gonna worry about the pace after that, and just worrying about adjusting my speed so that my heart rate doesn't go too high. And we'll talk more about that in a minute, so let's get running. All right, so now my heart rate's in the 140s. So now what I'm gonna do is slow down my pace slightly and make sure that my heart rate comes back down or doesn't rise anymore. If it keeps going up, I'm going to slow down even more until my heart rate does come down and stabilize. You'll notice that as you put more miles in, your heart rate will start to rise some more, even at the slower pace. So you'll have to slow down some more. This gradual change in heart rate is called heart rate creep, and it is typical to happen, especially in adverse climates like high heat, or if you're not in your optimum condition. But if you're in optimal physical condition, you should be able to minimize the heart rate creep and find a good pace in which to keep a constant heart rate. So that's kind of how you tell if you're in good shape or not. Anyway, on my run, especially in the summertime, I have heart rate creep, which means I have to slow down over time in order to maintain the same heart rate. All right, a couple things I wanted to discuss. First, there's no shame in having to walk in order to maintain your heart rate. I'm showing that as an example right now. I'm walking to bring my heart rate back down. I don't need to. Yesterday in my 16 miler, or almost 16 miler, I did have to do that towards the end because it didn't matter how slow I jogged, the heart rate wasn't coming back down. So you know you're pretty much spent at that point, and you have to walk in order to get the heart rate down. You don't want to have your heart rate stay above your aerobic zone, which for me is like 140 to 145 for too long, because then you're defeating the purpose of the benefits of aerobic running. So what are the benefits? What is the benefit of aerobic running, of zone 2 aerobic running? This running in this zone, and 90%, 85 to 90% of all workouts should be done in this zone. The purpose of running in this zone, especially for being a long distance runner, is to train your body to run more efficiently. So I won't tell the story of how Dave Scott came up with this and for Ironman training, that kind of thing. But what happens is your body becomes more efficient over time running in that zone. So what happens is it learns to adapt to that, and then you can start running faster in that same zone. So if you're just starting this out and you're running in a heart rate of 145 and you're doing 10-minute mile pace, you'll see that over time, regardless of the weather and that kind of thing, that you'll be able to maintain the same heart rate and run faster. You'll get into 9:30s and a 9-minute mile pace and so forth and so on. And that is the key thing for marathon training, because you can't run at your peak heart rate, at your maximum heart rate in a marathon for 3 hours or 4 hours. You can't do it. Your body will just start to shut down. You have to train it to be more efficient, to run the aerobic zone for longer. So when I'm training for a marathon, I can run at like 6:20 pace for 20 miles or so. I have my heart rate around 145, 148, something like that. And it's not until the last few miles where I start when I get into total race zone and I'm starting to get excited about finishing, that I start to get into the 150s and 160s. But you train yourself to become more efficient by running in this aerobic zone, which is 80% of your maximum heart rate. Anyway, now that I've procrastinated long enough and my heart rate is way down, we're gonna finish this run and get our heart rate back up into that zone and get this thing done. It's hot and it's humid and it's hard to control the heart rate because it's so hot, but we're gonna get it done. Alright, that's gonna wrap it up for today. Average heart rate of 139 for the run today, even though it's high humidity, high heat. It's stinking hot out today. Anyway, that's how you're gonna do heart rate run. Get a heart rate monitor. Start out nice and easy. Figure out what your aerobic heart rate is. That's a zone 2. Zone 1 is jogging. Zone 2 is your aerobic area zone. That's where you want to do 85% of your runs to make yourself more efficient. In zone 3 and zone 4, those are the higher intensity runs. Zone 4 is like, or 5 is like the race zone. So anyhow, hope you found that useful. Leave any comments down below. What do you think? Give me any questions you might have. It's very brief, I know. There's a lot more involved, but I just kind of want to get a video out there to help get you out the door, to help train by heart rate instead of by pace and distance and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, leave a big thumbs up on the video. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed, because if you don't, I'm gonna steal your watch or tie your laces together. Until next time, peace.